The rise of Philippine offshore gaming operations, POGOs, in the Philippines has led to a complex scenario involving legitimate businesses and opportunistic individuals. The industry's rapid expansion has outpaced the government's regulatory capabilities, creating a regulatory void exploited by illicit operators. Likewise, loopholes in POGO employee background checks have allowed individuals with questionable backgrounds to enter the industry, damaging its reputation. POGOs have become a significant driver of transnational crime in the nation, disrupting peace due to various criminal activities linked to them. These offenses range from romance and investment scams, trafficking, and illegal online gambling to kidnapping, tax evasion, money laundering, drug trafficking, and even SIM card law violations and telecommunications fraud. The prevalence of such crimes has raised alarms not only locally, but also globally. The intricate network involving POGOs, local service providers, and government officials has fueled corruption and illicit activities, with global repercussions such as POGO-related scams affecting individuals and businesses worldwide. One notorious scam, the Love Scam, employs a detailed manual of operations, utilizing deceptive recruitment strategies on social media platforms like Facebook, with an intensive daily schedule forcing workers into 16 to 18-hour shifts, targeting vulnerable groups, including individuals aged 35 and above. They gather personal information and encourage communication on platforms like WhatsApp or Telegram. Scammers employ detailed character stories, multiple accounts, and folders with stock pictures to maintain false identities, following a meticulously planned timeline and activity schedule for interactions. For video calls, scammers are prepared with designated rooms for various settings. Once the scammers gain the trust of their victims, they would then introduce them to fraudulent investments involving cryptocurrencies. The scammers provide instructions on how their victims would invest in these cryptocurrency schemes, mostly through links. Once they invested in these, the scammers would cut off all communications with them and run away with their invested money. Additionally, a violation list outlines penalties for rule infractions, and non-compliant employees face torture methods such as beatings and use of tasers. Resigning employees are charged with fees ranging from 150,000 to 500,000 pesos, further highlighting the exploitative nature of the operation. The convergence of these elements paints a grim picture of the POGO industry as a hub for various challenges to law enforcement and regulatory bodies globally. The need for concerted international efforts to combat the multifaceted threats arising from the POGO ecosystem is evident, as these activities have far-reaching consequences affecting individuals, businesses, and the overall stability of global financial systems. In response, the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, PAGCOR, introduced the Internet Gaming License, IGL, in July 2023, replacing the old POGO framework. This legal authorization allows operators to offer online gaming services within the Philippines, subject to PAGCOR's regulations. PAGCOR is currently enforcing a stricter regulatory mechanism to police IGLs. However, this transition did not change the fact that there are at least 402 unlicensed POGOs, support providers, local gaming agents, and special class of BPOs left unchecked in the whole country and without knowledge of its current status quo. As of June 24, 2024, PAGCOR has listed 38 IGLs with regular licenses, 7 with provisional licenses, and 14 special class of BPOs. This transition has also led to the displacement of foreign workers who are now walking in the streets without proper immigration documents. According to PAGCOR's manpower count summary, as of May 2024, there are now 61,767 IGL POGO workers in the country, including 31,322 Filipinos and 30,445 foreign nationals. Through continuous effort, these numbers have been reduced after the diligent operations conducted by the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, PAOCC, and law enforcement agencies against POGOs, IGLs involved in illicit activities.
You were recruited in Bamban and your experiences in Sunligman.
Okay, Mr. Dylan, can you kindly narrate to these two committees and to these resource speakers who are here. What happened to you first, no?
Okay.
Ikaw muna, then we will be asking the others,
Yeah.
and then
Okay,
you
sure.
translate that to us.
Sure, sure.
So you start with how you were recruited, and then how you were put in that facility,
Okay.
and then how you were rescued or escaped, or
Yeah,
so
some things.
what are the surrounding circumstances
Okay, sure.
from the time that you arrived in this country to the moment that you were rescued by the PAOK-TF?
Okay.
Please proceed.
Okay, actually, I came in Philippines in 2021. Okay, that one is I travel in Dubai, and then transfer because our old company they already transfer over here. Okay, after that, okay, why I will be in Bamban Talak? Okay, when February 10th, that one is almost Chinese New Year. I will meet up in our friends. That one is my old clique when I meet in Philippines here. And then when I arrived there, okay, in Bamban Talap, the place there, and then I just maybe in the dinner, we will get the dinner at that time, okay. And then he told me to wait in the domiciliary there. He said he will go to do something and then come back later, and then I just wait until around 30 minutes after. The office, like the in charge, maybe the admin or anything, is coming to calling me, and then go to the supervisor place, and then he will tell me I need to work in there, and then maybe have my things I already get sell, because I have some knowledge for that. If I will go to park, and then it's not allowed to go out, and then them say I need to, and then asking for if I pay maybe the price of that he sell me, then them say it's not allowed, and then actually you need to, how to say, minimum you need to work around half a years. After that, if without the payment, you already pay out the payment, and then I can get like freedoms or something like that. Yeah.
So, were you tortured?
Okay, when the times, when I in Bamban there, and then I already get, when I first day, you already give out my phone, my personal phone, and then I lost my contacts, or maybe I just try to, how to say, just save myself until I get the phone, or maybe I find another way for contacts, and then after that I just try.
Were you tortured?
When
Have a
that was
physical abuse or something?
The back, in the back.
Back?
No. In the face. The time them torture me in the face, and then I will report it.
You were slapped, or you were punched?
Yeah, we will get punched.
How many times?
Just one or two times. That time I forget, but I feeling the first time is already drunk. Yeah.
Dr. Wilson, is he the one that was rescued with the with the bench? Okay, sige. So Dylan, so we will be asking the other. No.
Okay, sure.
I think the physical abuse that was perpetrated on your person is not that much compared to the others.
I think them is more hardest with
Okay,
me.
so we'll be asking who? Dr. Winston.
Okay.
Translator, pero he was rescued as well. Not too much violence against him. Can you kindly give him another mic? So,
Okay.
so Dylan, kindly ask him the same question from the time
how
that.
you were happenings.
Yeah, oh,
the
yes,
times. 就是他想问一下你怎么在那个邦刚 club 嘛，就是克拉克那边，就怎么会在那边出现，就怎么会在那边，就过程你可以说一下。
6月2号晚上11点多，
靠近你。
6月2号晚上11点多
，OK，
在机械区走闲逛的时候，被别人推上车了。
哦，在被别人推上车了。
对，6月3号。
6
月3号凌晨2点多的时候就发现出现在那个地方了。
Okay, can I translate? I need me to translate it, right? Okay, he say actually in June 12, the time when he working maybe for personal, and then he get some persons is catching him in the road, and then with the small van 是小车是吗？那种小型面包车或者什么？
灰白色的 SUV。
哦，白色的 SUV。哦have some guys is catching in the road with the white color SUV, and then after that 过后呢？
过后，就拿我的手机呗，然后拿了我的包，然后
就拿了你的手机，就上了车就拿你的手机，拿你的包是吧？
对。
Okay, when he get cash with the maybe the criminals or anything, and then he get the phone, the personal phone, and then the bag all.
So in other
is
words,
given.
this person was kidnapped and then put into a
put into the class, the Pampanggang there.
So how many months?
How many months? I think just few days. He said it's a February.
More than
12th,
5
right?
days?
More than 5 days? I think just 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days only.
No, just only 2 days. Just only 2 days.
2 days only. Then he was rescued.
raided already.
Oh, you raided already. So he was picked up on a place, in some place, and then brought
When the
into the
time-
Pogo.
Mr. Chair and for the committee, he was kidnapped in Pasay, June 2, if I am not mistaken. Then he was brought to Porac. Then we rescued him around early morning of June 5.
But, by the way, you know the story of each and every, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you kindly, you know the story of them, di ba? Better that you speak on their behalf.
Okay, sir.
Because we will understand more.
Mr. Chair.
We cannot understand the translator. Di ba? Attorney Congressman Roy Loyola.
Mr. Chairman, I know if the victim have executed an affidavit, if
Dr.
there is,
Visa, please reply.
can we ask copy so that we could easily understand the story behind their
Yes, Your Honor. Since most of these are complainants, they have executed their affidavits, and these are with the relevant courts po. But in the absence of those affidavits, now I could recount their stories since they were recounted to us to PAOK po.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, just a question.
Congresswoman Pancho.
So nakidnap po sila.
Yes, ma'am.
Did they give money or not?
Hindi po. May I, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Dylan, as he was telling his story po, he was sold po. Binenta siya doon sa Sunyuan sa Baupu. Ang nagbenta po sa kanya, barkada pa po niya. Ang sabi sa kanya ng barkada niya, kakain lang tayo doon sa Baupu kasi Chinese New Year po yun. Pero ang nangyari po, binenta po siya sa halagang 300,000. Pero hindi po niya alam. Tapos nung nagpupumilit na po siyang umalis doon sa Baupu, doon sa Porac, doon na po in-inform siya na you have already been sold and you will have to pay off your debt to them. Kinuha po yung kanyang cellphone, tapos yun nga po, sinabihan na po siya na kung kaya mong mabayaran within 6 months, makakalabas ka po. Pero may mga pagkakataon ho kasi na umaalma yung ating witness, kaya siya po'y nabubugbog. Naipagbigay alam po siya sa atin ng Malaysian Embassy sapagkat nakapag-text po siya doon sa company phone, pinakita po niya yung mga bugbog niya rito sa kanyang mukha, yung sinasabi niyang sa kanyang face.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
I think for
Richard Gomez.
I think for us to easily understand yung sinasabi ng taga-PAOK TF, Mr. Chair, maybe if they have videos to show, mas madaling maintindihan ng lahat, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I was about to.
Yep.
Yes, I was about to. Because these 5 Chinese nationals that was invited, I think hindi naman yun yung video na that was.
Hindi ho
about to be
lahat.
presented.
Isa lang po yung nandito.
Can you kindly show to us yung mga videos, but not included these people? Kasi hindi naman lahat nung nasa video are what do you call this, mga nag-akusa, di ba? Hindi sila kasama, di ba?
Mr. Chair,
so can you kindly show to us the videos?
Yeah, for proper context, Mr. Chair, before we proceed, are we
Yes.
made to understand that all these witnesses used to work in the same Pogo hub or in different locations?
No, Your Honor. three worked for Lucky South 99 sa Porac, Pampanga. Yung isa po, yung nauna yung translator natin was from Sun Yuan or yung sa Bauhu sa Bamban, Tarlac. Yung isa po, yung kababayan natin ay na-rescue po namin sa Myawaddy sa Myanmar po.
And all of these witnesses came here in the country to precisely work for Pogo?
No, Your Honor, there was pretense kasi yung iba sa kanila, di umano, inirecruit daw po sila bilang mga cook, mga waiter, mga ganoon. Pero nabenta din po sa Pogo, Your Honor.
Kaya siguro, Attorney, si Sayana, meron na tayong mga videos that you have submitted to us. Can you kindly explain yung mga...
Honor of the persons here in the room. Kasi, no, yung hindi nga pwede. We cannot present in public torture videos of the witnesses, but the others.
Mr. Chair, excuse. Kaya nga po naka-face mask sila eh. Tapos pakikita natin dito. So what's the use, di ba?
Exactly. That's the reason why I told a while ago that the video that will be shown are those who are not witnesses on any cases that have been filed by the PAOK-TF and the different government agencies. Ang ipalabas natin yung mga napadala na sa abroad. What we are trying to portray here is the evil of the illegal activities that had been perpetrated in our country.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it was not done by the Filipinos. It was done by other foreigners in cahoots with Filipinos.
Okay.
Di ba? So, show mo sa amin yung mga videos
Yes, sir.
that medyo ako nung napanood ko medyo talagang offending sa atin eh.
Opo.
Binabastos sila ang ating gobyerno. Sige,
Opo.
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Siguro, Secretariat, unahin natin yung binubugbog, yung subject for rescue pa natin, yung pinupukpok sa ulo. Yung pinupukpok po sa ulo kasi yun medyo... Ito pong unang video nung pinupukpok sa ulo, na-rescue na po ito, nakatakas na po ito, tinatago na po natin ito, and we're hoping to be able to create a story, to be able to depict his actual story, and hopefully maging subject din po ito ng operation.
Mr. Chair, while waiting,
Ito po siya. So, lalaki po ito. Siya po ay pinagpupukpok dahil allegedly siya po ay nakatakas dun sa Lucky South 99. And the Chinese bosses are alleging na siya daw po ay isa doon sa mga nag-out sa kanila. Yung nag-squeal, nagbigay ng informasyon sa PAOK. Hindi naman po totoo, in all honesty, hindi po siya ang nagbigay sa amin ng impormasyon. So yun po yung konteksto ng torture video na yun. Next po, yung babae po. Ay.
I suppose, Dr. Winston, marami kang video ng torture eh. We'll grant you that na maraming torture na nangyari and everything. Ewan ko kung gusto mong makita pa lahat yung torture. Ang tanong ko muna, can you, with regards to these four male witnesses that are present, how did they enter our country? Para mailagay natin paano napunta sa Pogo eh.
Opo. Chinek po namin yung entry visas po ng itong mga foreign victims po natin. Kadalasan ho sa kanila na dumadating po bilang tourist po yung kanilang visa. Then pag nandito na po sila sa Pilipinas, they convert their visas into 9G or yung working visa. Sa pakikipagtulungan po namin sa immigration, Your Honors, nakikita po namin na yung actual visas po nila ay hindi po doon sa actual na Pogo na pinagtatrabahuan po nila. So, ibang kumpanya ang nakalagay doon sa kanilang working visa. Yun po ang kadalasan nakikita natin sa mga rates natin, Mr. Chair.
So, actually, hindi sila dumaan sa PAGCOR eh. Or yung kung ano man yung company na supposed to be applicant ng PAGCOR. Illegal yan, illegal. Diba? Dahil paano nila ipapacilitate o bibigyan ng AER, Alien Employment Permit, kung pumasok sila as tourist, then nagpapakonvert na lang bigla. Dahil pag mag-expire na yung binigay na visa natin dito.
Mr. Chair, nakikipag-ugnayan nga po kami sa PAGCOR sapagkat nakikita namin nila Attorney Jessa na karamihan sa kanila wala ho talaga mga OGL, di ho ba ma'am? Pag nare-raid na po namin, saka lang namin nakikita na yung declaration po nila, halimbawa may declaration silang 30 na may OGL o yung online gaming employee license, 30 yung actual na declare, for example, pero ma-rescue po natin 300 to 800.
Kasi ang misconception namin, dinadala sila by in groups to work as Pogo operators dito. Dadalhin sila sa hub. I-apply sila in batches para mabigyan ng visa. Hindi, ito kasi iba yung manner of entry nila, manner of how they were hired or paano ipinasok do sa ganung
Mr. Chair, allow me to provide proper context po. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for that question. Actually po, yung influx ng mga Chinese nationals working in Pogos started as early as 2017 to 2019. The peak was on 2019. Ano po yung phenomenon na meron tayo dito? This was the time na meron tayong visa upon arrival, specifically for the Chinese nationals. Yung mga visa sa pan-arrival po na yon, sa aming pag-aaral, nakita po namin, nagkaroon ng mga bultuhang conversions po, Mr. Chair. So, pasok po muna sila rito bilang mga turista, grupo-grupo po ang mga yan, pero later on, ang kanilang primary purpose po talaga, hindi maging turista, kundi pumasok po sa Pogo industry. Kaya lang, Mr. Chair, ang naging problema nga po, pag nandun na po sila, grupo-grupong kino-convert yung kanilang tourist visas into working visas, pero fraudulent po yung mga kumpanya na kung saan nakapangalan po yung mga working visas po na yon. So meaning to say, Mr. Chair, most of the people that we find working in Pogos have been here for a number of years. Kagabi nga po, may nakausap ako, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years po sila sa Pilipinas na.
Wow. Okay.
Wala tayong dole representative.
Mr. Chair.
We just have to finish yung videos. 5 na lang ata yun. I just wanted to present the evil of these illegal activities that was perpetrated. Isa pa lang yung nakita natin what this representation wanted is ma-establish lang muna natin yung evil nung ginawang illegal activity na yon. At basically we need to see this, no? So siguro doon muna tayo, and then we will be presenting